Hello there, I am Bolanle Odueku Ayola, and here is your Wells Television Daily News Updates for today, the 22nd of September 2025. The Presidency has dismissed as baseless claims by former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu harbours plans to become a life president. In a post on his verified X handle on Sunday, Special Advisor on Information and Strategy Bayo Onanuga described the allegation as panic propaganda, insisting that President Tinubu remains an avowed Democrat with no intention of exceeding the constitutional two-term limit. He said El-Rufai's outburst reflected frustration, especially after the president's grand reception during his visit to Kaduna on Friday, which contradicted claims that northern support for President Tinubu had waned. Onanuga argued that El-Rufai's suggestion of a life presidency plot was a desperate attempt to distract from the futility of his new political associate's efforts to stop President Tinubu's re-election in 2027. He maintained that the president would leave office on May 28, 2031 if re-elected, stressing that suggestions to the contrary were unfounded. Recall that El-Rufai had, during a solidarity visit to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar in Abuja on Saturday, accused the Tinubu-led administration of centralizing power and likening the president's style to that of Cameroon's Paul Biya in power since 1982. The federal government has constituted a committee to investigate Saturday's explosion at the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria Daikon complex in Kaduna State. The incident, which occurred at the Ordnance Factory Disposal Pit, officially claimed one life, although unconfirmed reports suggested up to 4 fatalities and several injuries. In a statement, Daikon's public relations officer, Maria Sambo, clarified that the blast happened during the final phase of controlled destruction of expired explosives and hazardous materials, including ammonia nitrate, primer caps, and propellants. Defense Minister Mohammed Badaru has since visited the facility to assess the situation. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Sajudeen Abbas, has declared full support for President Bola Tinubu's borrowing strategy, describing it as vital for driving economic growth and reducing poverty. Speaking in Abuja today at the 8th Annual African Network of Parliamentary Budget Offices Conference, Abbas dismissed reports suggesting otherwise, calling them misleading. He said the National Assembly recognizes that strategic and responsible borrowing, when guided by Nigeria's medium-term debt strategy and global best practices, is essential to fund critical infrastructure, stimulate growth, and protect vulnerable groups. He further explained that under President Tinubu's leadership, loans are being channeled into transformative projects in power, transport, and agriculture, aimed at expanding revenue generation rather than consumption. He noted that the House would strengthen oversight while ensuring transparency and sustainability in all borrowings. The Speaker also pointed to the establishment of the National Assembly Budget and Research Office as a key reform for independent fiscal analysis. He warned, however, that Nigeria loses about $18 billion annually to corruption and illicit financial flows, stressing that plugging such leakages alongside responsible borrowing would safeguard the country's economic future. The National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, has inaugurated the neonatal component of its comprehensive emergency obstetric and neonatal care program in Kano State. The initiative, announced in a statement today by Acting Director of Media and Public Relations Emmanuel Ononopono, is aimed at expanding access to life-saving healthcare for vulnerable and economically disadvantaged mothers and newborns. The program officially commenced with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the NHIA and the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, with additional agreements signed with 3 Kano State-owned hospitals. NHIA Director General Dr. Kelechi Ohere, represented at the event by Dr. Sikiru Salaudin, said the pilot phase of the neonatal scheme had already begun in selected hospitals in Lagos and Kano, covering conditions such as birth asphyxia, neonatal sepsis, jaundice, and acute surgical emergencies. He noted that over 200 facilities nationwide are implementing the maternal component, with more than 14,000 women benefiting so far, about 40% of them in Kano. The event, attended by Kano State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Abubakar Labaran Yusuf, also heard that the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital currently has the highest number of NHIA beneficiaries in the country. And on the foreign scene, China's top internet regulator has announced a 2-month campaign to tighten control over online content, targeting posts it described as promoting conflict, rumors, or negative outlooks on life. In a statement today, the Cyberspace Administration of China, CAC, said the move is aimed at curbing the spread of harmful material, including content that stigmatizes people based on identity, region, or gender, or that exaggerates negative social trends. The announcement follows recent penalties against 3 major platforms, Weibo, Kwashu, and RedNote, which authorities accused of failing in their content management duties. While details of the sanctions were not disclosed, the CAC said disciplinary measures would be enforced. The regulator added that the campaign would also target the spread of economic and policy-related rumors and discourage online cultures such as lying flat or letting it rot, popular among Chinese youth. The CAC said the goal was to foster a more civilized and rational online environment. And in sports, Paris Saint-Germain PSG forward Ousmane Dembele has emerged as the favorite to win the 2025 Men's Ballon d'Or, with Barcelona teenager Lamine Yamal among his closest challengers. The ceremony will happen today at the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris, where the world of football will gather to celebrate the sport's top individual honors. Dembele, aged 28, is widely tipped after a prolific season in which he scored 35 goals, helping PSG secure the Champions League, a domestic treble, and a Club World Cup final spots. 9 members of PSG's squad feature among the 13 nominees, while other contenders include Erling Haaland, Harry Kane, Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Kylian Mbappe, and Vinicius Jr. In the women's category, Spain's Aitana Bonmati is aiming for a historic 3rd consecutive title, though teammates Alexia Putellas and England stars Lucy Bronze, Alessia Russo, and Leah Williamson are also in contention. This year's award will be decided based on 3 main criteria: individual performances, team achievements, and class and fair play. Organizers say the shift will ensure that the Ballon d'Or continues to honor not just talent and statistics, but also players who embody the spirit of the game. And that's it on the Wells Television Daily News Updates for today. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Wells Television and like our Facebook page at Wells Television. Thank you for watching. God bless you.